Okay, guys and girls, I haven't started this CJ7 one-of-a-kind pickup truck project in a while. I have to move it today to shoot a video for somebody in particular. So there's plenty of videos on this thing on here. I'm just going to do a slow video, but this is a cold start. This thing hasn't been moved in about 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks. I've been out of town a bunch, maybe 3 weeks. But anyways, I got to try to not hit my Challenger there, and Bigfoot will be put back together soon here. There's my little drift car project that'll be available someday when I get time to work on it. Anyways, so this is a cold start. You have a toggle switch for the fuel pump. Turn the key, push button start. Pump it a couple times. Like I said, hasn't been started in probably 2 to 3 weeks at least. I mainly use this thing to take my trash to the dumpster, and I've been on the street with it a little bit, so gotta make sure I don't hit my car. Anyways, forgive me while I'm pulling out here. I gotta pay attention. The tires are fatter than the fenders, and I'm mostly concerned about running my car over in the process here. Anyways, pull it out in the sun. I'm gonna do a little slow walk around. You see, it's got killer oil pressure. This is an 80s, 90s / Vortec motor, so when it sits, you will get a little white smoke out of it when it sits. I noticed when I was driving it almost every day, running to the store in it and stuff like that, it did better. When it sits, it smokes a little. Speedometer works, the aftermarket gauges work, the gas gauges never work. The headlights, I've already discussed, headlights, taillights, brake lights work. Blinkers are not hooked up. So as far as paint quality goes, you know, there's a flaw here and there when you're up close. There's a sag. This thing was painted. It was never wet sand and buffed or anything after it was done. You know, so I don't consider most of what I own, unless otherwise stated, show vehicles. I mess with driver quality stuff. It's got cool aftermarket bumpers. The tailgate actually works like it should with the standard latches. So inside of the bed, like I said, just a very unique, one-of-a-kind thing. The body is not flawless. There's a ding here and there, or a mark. The hood was actually, the hood has a couple dings in it here and there. Kind of harder to see out in the sun, but there's one. You know, the thing has never really been driven an excessively amount yet. Everybody just, you know, 2 different guys were working on this project and never finished it. You can see they put floor pans in there, but they're awesome. They did a overkill job on that. You know, it's just a very cool, unique, you know, the roll bar's cool. People ask, I believe it's standard width in between those tubs, so I believe, yes, you can put a back seat back in there, a stock back seat. A lot of the headers and parts like that were new. There's where they stretched the frame. You know, it's got a custom cross member. The list just goes on and on. I do have the electronics to hook that winch up. It's actually brand new. It's never been hooked up. I do have the stuff to hook it up, and I do have the cable for it. You can see the custom front bumper. You see, you know, the ball joints, the brakes, the brake lines. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the fan on now. The electric fan is also on a toggle switch. The brake booster was new, power steering, the alternator's new. Nothing on it is very old. It's just kind of set. You can see the custom motor mount. Oh, there's a bead on my steering shaft there. That's nice. Anyways, I guess that, you know, the AC compressor's on there. Just lots of new parts. Never really. Oh, here, I'm going to show. I was telling people that I would probably replace this radiator. I have not had a problem yet, but you can see they did an epoxy repair at the top of it. I don't like that. You're just kind of set up for failure at some point, I feel like. And the radiators are too cheap now, you know, to not. At some point, I would replace that. I've been driving it to town. I've been driving it around like it sits. Just a super cool, one-of-a-kind piece. So, I mean, I like to pull up to an event, you know, all the amount of work that went into this thing and the amount of new parts on it, you know, you're gonna probably finish working some bugs out. I discussed, you know, I personally would address that radiator at some point just because of the repair. It hasn't been leaking on me, but I don't like it. But I drive it anyways. The transmission leaking on the passenger side, like I said, it could be the dipstick tube and the detent cable. It could just be one or the other. I don't know, but sometimes it'll not leak at all. Sometimes it'll leak a dime. Sometimes it'll leak a softball. When it sits in my shop for weeks at a time, it'll leak a little trail, you know. I don't like it, but it's gonna have to be addressed at some point. But as far as driving it to town, I told people I had one of the rear axles go bad. You can't buy one, so the shop did the kit. You know, he put both of them in, so the axles have been replaced. The driving lights are not hooked up yet, but the parking lights, headlights, and brake lights all work. The starter's new. The carburetor's not old. Like I said, the list just goes on and on and on of things that have been done to this thing. Clearly the wheels and tires are brand new. All the welding they did on everything that's welded on looks excellent. I'm not a great welder. I usually pay my buddy to do that stuff. Like if you look here, this hinge, you know, it isn't as close as the other hinge, but the gate lines up good. You know, basically I was just trying to do a little bit more thorough walk around so the guy could see it. Basically none of this stuff really has any miles on it. It's got years. This thing's been passed over 2 times to 2 different guys, and then I've had it for longer than I should have. But anyways, there you go. CJ7 pickup truck, one of a kind. There's other videos of it driving down the road and stuff. But there you go. Thank you.